what is your most embarrassing moment?
Embarrassing?
Yeah. I don't know why I just naturally looked at you first.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna say one.
Rambo
I ain't gonna
don't
tell
get
you. I know.
You know exactly my
I do.
embarrassing moment.
If I went for the same one, I'm thinking.
I can't name which one. I've been embarrassed
You got a lot to pick from, huh?
It ain't the one we always get the money together that time, was it? In Florida? Oh, yeah. No, I know.
Oh, my.
I wouldn't tell you. Hell no. I got one.
yeah, ding, ding, Chris got it.
I got one on him. I got one on him, too.
Okay, all right. I got here.
Why don't we do, I'm not
No,
gonna say
that's a story right there.
Yeah,
that's gonna
But it's
take
a
too-
true story.
Hey,
Yeah.
man, I got plenty of memory in my computer. How about it?
That's a bad story.
This is a good one. It ain't bad, the one I'm going to tell you.
I didn't say what's your most
I'm not gonna
embarrassing
go-
Hey,
moment.
see, I'm going to tell one on him. It's funny how we got money
Well,
together.
as long as it's on Rambo.
It is.
Okay, all right, good.
You going to
Are
tell
you
you?
talking about the same one?
I'm talking about it in Phoenix.
Talking about the day you talking about the bull.
Oh, yeah, but I'm talking about it. I would tell the other one, but I ain't telling that
No,
one.
I ain't telling
No,
that.
let's just put it this way. I got thrown in jail.
Yep.
That was in Daytona. That I'm not going to say what went through that because it was a bad deal.
I mean, we had two teams down there, and we had to get the money together.
Same thing. He tried to do a good deed.
Yep,
And
and it just didn't work out.
it
Yeah.
was
So
a
he
bad
just
place.
But the bad part was
The good deed didn't work out, and he wound up in jail.
Jail. Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
all right. Okay, all right.
the way I remember.
We all ended up money.
The bad part was I was in Wally's car and I was supposed to go pick Robin up. This is the embarrassing part.
That's the bad part. Yeah.
Yeah. Robin Dallenbach.
Didn't make it.
Yeah.
And I love that girl to death. I just love
Yeah.
her to death. And I didn't make it to pick her up. So finally, when all this finally got over with and I got back to the motel, and had to go get the car out of the impound, and I come back and give the keys, and Robin, she was mad.
Oh.
She had to sit there and didn't know what was going on. And I didn't realize it at the time, but these sorry asses right here was across the motel, across the room or down the hall or
Looking
something.
through the
and they were
peephole.
I know.
He was right across the room from us.
yeah. And they were like, what the hell's that to Rambo? And Robin just screaming and hollering and beating on me and mad. And it was pretty embarrassing. Got pretty humbled that day. And of course, they never let me forget it.
The other one was when him and another employee, Royce McGee, they is cowboys, and we went to test at Phoenix, and we went to this bar, and his rock and roll downstairs and country up top had live bull riding. They was all out there talking, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. I said, okay, all right. And he ran, I got all the gear. When we come back, I said, okay, how much is it? I went over and found out.
Now,
What?
back in the day,
Yeah, let's back
in the
up
day-
because the first time he shows up at Roush Racing, he's got this great big gold
Satellite belt buckle.
buckle on
Yeah.
Yeah.
that says "I'm bull riding champion of Havelock County" or something.
So I said, okay, we test at Phoenix,
Meanwhile, you fast forward a few years and this guy don't ride a bull.
No, he might eat
how many
one.
how many cowboys you see from Ohio? You know, he don't ride a bull.
when I went to the Marine Corps, I got up with a bunch of guys from Texas, and we used to go to Princeton, North Carolina, and they call it jackpot bull riding. Well, I was a Marine. I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof. I can do that. So that's what we
You need to get
started
a different
doing.
tape measure.
That's what we started doing. So we started riding, and we started riding, and I felt like I was okay at it. I mean, I did win the buckle.
You got to film.
I did.
I got to see this because what
don't
I
gotta-
saw, you didn't ride nothing.
I had all the gear, had everything, and it was all used up. My cowbell was beat up. The stuff had been used. I didn't like I went out and bought it and said, I'm going to go do this. I have done it before.
Yeah, it
like I
was-
said, I wasn't very good at
He didn't
it.
say where he bought it. You could have bought it at you. Anyway, we got our money together at the shop. I said, we go back out there for the race. It's on. He changed tires from Wally's car in the front.
After I got run
This is
over.
where I got in trouble after this. So we put all our money together and we go back for the race and we're going out there. You riding? Yep. Bring your stuff. All right. Well, he gets on the bull. We're all there watching.
Now, what stuff are you bringing?
Like the strap, all the cowboy
Gear.
hat, all
You
the
got all
gear.
your own
I got all my own stuff. That's why I said
Yeah.
I've done this before.
It ain't like you went and rented.
And you're talking about on a mechanical
No,
bull.
I'm talking about a live.
No,
bull.
we're talking.
You're talking about a real bull.
Yeah, it's jackpot bull riding.
Yeah.
They had it there on.
It was Mr. Lucky's.
Mr. Lucky's had a live bull right now. I don't know if they still have it or not.
Holy cow.
No, they closed that place.
Okay,
Mr.
that's
Lucky's.
good, that's good.
That's what they
Okay.
said.
It could've killed somebody.
It was a honky tonk.
So we got our money
place with
together. It's like,
outdoor
I
bull
forgot how
riding.
much it was, and I said, we're going to pay and you're going to do it. Okay. So we go back.
All right, so we go out there Thursday night. Lo and behold, they got pros on Thursday night, Friday night. Amateur night is Saturday night. It's like
Yeah.
Man, we won't have time to replace him on the pit crew. But guess what? We're going to do it anyway.
We're gonna do it anyway. And the gate flew open, and he went straight up. I ain't lying, straight up. The bull came out.
Right, and it went left.
And you,
That's exactly what happened.
You was in the you was in the pen. So the next day, it's time to go to the racetrack. Jack come to me and goes, "What happened to him?" I was like, "I don't know." Well, he couldn't. You were so stiff, he couldn't even hardly move to change tires.
Well, what happened
I got in
was
trouble.
after I come out, and you supposed. Everybody talks. What's bull going to do? What's this bull going to do? If you watch them,
I'm gonna stay off. That's what
they're
you do.
they're gonna do the same thing over and over. That's what they do. The guy said this bull's gonna come out and he's gonna turn right. Okay, I'm gonna lean right. He's gonna turn right. I'm gonna be okay. So I went out and he went turn right. What I thought was gonna be right, but it was left, and I was turning right. And I mean, it was about
1.2 seconds.
2.1 seconds. So I come off. Well,
That's before
then
you hit the ground.
I was off on the right, and he was between me and the chute. So I started to come around, and I thought that he done turned out. Well, he didn't. He come back, and I wasn't even at the fence yet. And he come back and just went and just grazed me a little bit, but he stepped on my foot. Stepped on it.
1,200 pounds.
And then I got up on the fence, got away from him. And the next day, I couldn't hardly walk.
Yeah.
I mean,
Changed
couldn't
tires.
hardly
He goes, "You don't let that happen again, Jerry." I was like, I didn't do it. He did it.
2 follow-up questions. Number one, is there video?
No.
Yeah.
Is there,
Yes,
are
there
there
is.
photos?
Stevie Allen had the camera
Oh.
and took the video.
There is video.
I don't know where it is today, but Stevie
Yeah.
Allen,
Man.
if anybody knows, he does.
And I got a picture too. And I can
Oh,
dispute the picture. I can dispute with the picture because I was out of the chute and I was past the chute and I was still on the bull.
Okay.
Trick photography.
It must have been an angle.
That was way back. No, that was way before Photoshop. Way before it.
We couldn't even spell.
No,
it.
I laughed. I probably made a little fun of him. And about 24 hours later, I was like,
I felt sorry for his pain.
let me tell you something. He did something I'd never do.
That's right.
So I stopped laughing and I stopped
Somebody
picking on
asked
him.
me one time, said, "What do you think the most dangerous sport is?" And they're like, "Ice hockey." This, that. I said, "Bull riding." They said, "Why?" And I said, "That thing will come back and get you."
Oh yeah.
Man, I don't even know to ask anybody else about their most. I think
What about
that,
yours?
I think that
I want to hear it.
I think that topic.
I don't know. I don't know one.
I don't.
Somebody might know one of me, but
Buddy Parrott, what's your most
God.
embarrassing moment? Or do you get embarrassed?
I
it's hard for me to
I
get
work
embarrassed.
real hard not to get embarrassed, but I can tell you.
were, Dover, Delaware. There we were. Buddy's up my on the pit box. He's like, "Good Lord, I believe I'm having a heart attack." He looked like Fred Sanford. Look at him. He's gonna get mad at me. Oh my God, I gotta go. They come and get him in a John Deere Gator and they haul
I
him
know
off.
mine.
And they're like, "Where'd Buddy go? Where'd Buddy go?" So me and Frankie's there. We go, and Burton's like, "Where's Buddy? Where's Buddy?" So we don't know. They hauled him off. He's having a heart attack or something. He thought he was going to die. He come back.
I don't think that's
He
very
come back.
embarrassing.
Oh, but he come. Well, it is. He come back after we was about loaded up. What's
No,
wrong?
I didn't either. I stayed in the hospital.
You did.
Jack stayed up there and flew me home.
Okay.
that
Well,
was
anyway,
good.
when
I
they come
wouldn't
to
get a
find
plane
out, they come to find out that he was just constipated. He had shit cramps. And I would not let him forget that.
That's funny. I can't say nothing.
That wasn't what the doc said. Anyway, the most embarrassing.
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
The most embarrassing thing, I guess, this is a story that you get caught with your pants down.
We not tell them kind of story.
Harry Hyde, we would have our all 7 employees at the time running 52. Let's say we ran 50 races a year back then. Okay. We had this, we'd have a break, and across the street was called the Apollo Restaurant. And that was a,
I know where it was.
That's Harry's place.
that was the infant. Harry was he was the governor or
And
whatever.
Robert G.
He was the whatever. Anyway, so little did I know, Harry had already set this up, and but Raymond Fox and I decided that we were going to streak. Remember back in the day when streaking was well.
It was never a thing with
Harry
me.
had
I don't
a
know what
couch.
he's talking about.
Harry had a couch
Legion.
sitting in the middle of the floor where the cars were in our shop back in Harrisburg. So anyway, Raymond and I go up to the Goodyear building and next door, and we get all our clothes off and everything. And so we come running out of there and running through the gate, because Harry always locked the gate. Of course, we unlocked the gate. We were running through the gate. We ran through the break, through Harry, in front of Harry and all the crew guys and everything, naked as a jaybird, and back out and ran to go get our clothes. Well, when we looked across the street, all the girls and everybody that was in the restaurant, Harry had called and told them to come out, that there was going to be some streakers.
Oh, God.
So I never did that again.
Jerry, you're up. Your turn.
Probably, they might dispute it, but one of the most embarrassing things was I was parking the truck at Daytona.
Oh,
And we'd won a championship the year before with Sam. And I was coming around by the old scoreboard with that truck, and a security guard, I forgot his name. I wish I knew.
he was Irish.
He was, yeah, I want to hear that. So he hops up on the running board and said, "You can't go through that gate," and he grabbed me. First, he run in front of the truck, and it's vacuum assisted brakes, and you know when you mash the brake, it rolled about a foot. Well, I bumped him. I didn't knock him down, just barely touched him. He run around, jumped up on the running board, called me a name that he swears he didn't, but he did, which I learned, this one I learned about NASCAR a lot. So when he said that, I hit him between the eyes with my fist.
With your fist.
And knocked him out on the ground. So I just drove the truck around there. When I got around to where I was going to park, the Army was over there. Well, they handcuffed me to the chain link fence between the Bush garage and the Cup garage. You know, you just come through inspection. I was right there on that gate. Hung up. And they flipped the cover up on it and said, "That car ain't running, da-da-da-da." Buster come over and goes, "What in the hell are y'all doing?" This happened. He goes, "Turn him loose." And Bobby Scruggs, he said, got him, said, "Put him in the car." Got in Bobby Scruggs' car. We go down to the car wash down the road, and they got the car wash. I said, "What are we doing?" "You'll be all right, just wait." And go through and get some cleaners, go to the cleaners, pick up clothes. And then we pull around front and go in the office out front. I'm like, ooh. Bill Frank, I went there and sat down. And that guy I hit was in there, rag on his head. And he's like, he's sitting there and I'm sitting there, and Mr. France comes in there, and I said, well, he jumped up on the
Senior or junior? Well, they juniors.
junior. He goes, I don't care what he said. He goes, I said, he jumped, grabbed me and called me. And that guy said, "No, I didn't." And I said, "Yeah, you did." He goes, "No, he didn't." I said, "Yes, he did, Mr. Frank." He goes, "No, he didn't." I said, "Okay, no, he didn't." "You're right." I knew then. He goes, "No matter what I said, it was going to be wrong, you know?" So it cost me a little bit of money. But believe it or not, I made a friend. That guy, until he passed away, and his son worked there too. You couldn't meet finer people after that. Yeah. You know, and he finally admitted it later. He goes, "Man, I did the wrong thing." I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "Didn't cost you nothing but a black eye." Yeah. You know, and it was, but I knew then that was like, if I was right, I was still wrong. But that was kind of embarrassing, winning the championship, and everybody worked in the garage. I'm over there chain linked to the, handcuffed to the darn fence.
Was that at Daytona?
Yeah.
It's amazing how things happen. Yeah, here we are doing this roundtable thing, and the exact same thing happened to me.
Man, I wish it had been you that day.
I didn't run over the gate guard. I pushed him. I took the old Farrell Harris.
Oh Lord!
Back then, and so we had to get from get through the gate in the NASCAR in the garage for the Cup garage by a certain time, or you wouldn't. That's when we took the ARCA car.
Right. Yep.
ARCA car over there. And this gate guard did the same thing to me. He pulls up, he stands in front of me. I said, man, I'm telling you, I'm going through that gate. I said, I'm going to take you with me. And he's...
Maybe I should have been
So
watching.
I pulled that old Louisville Line Ford truck up there and I pushed him, look here, and his eyes are getting about like this, you know, and I'm pushing on him. And I finally backed off. But boy, I got called to the office. Bill Gasaway. And let me tell you something, boy. This is our place. And you want to play in our yard.
With our
you're
rules.
gonna know that you're gonna abide by the rules. Yes, sir, Mr. Gasaway. You know, so. But anyway, that's amazing. But that's the way the gate guards were. They could be so nice, some of them, and then the rest of them could be.
Henry Benfield got one at Richmond.
Oh yeah.
And then you question what Henry does.
When I worked at juniors, the gate guard kept pass. I mean, Henry goes in and out of the gate. He comes out, he's over there. He goes, that cat ain't gonna be back after a while. I said, why? He goes, he went out there and gave him a gator. It's hot, ain't it? Yeah, here. His coat was still hanging there the next day. He never did come back. He had the same problem as Buddy, but he was still free with it. I think he had a... That was bad.
Henry would load you up with some laxatives.
You go in the truck. He said, "Don't eat them oatmeal cookies, but you can eat them." And they were wrapped in cellophane. I don't know how he did it, but
Yeah, he didn't let them. He got them back for sure.
Chris, how about you?
Apparently, I wasn't as adventurous as these guys. I can't really remember any one thing that sticks out at the racetrack other than bad pit stops, bad decisions, just stuff like that. Just really.
But that
It was all-
hindsight 2020.
Yeah.
Damn, I shouldn't have done
Yeah,
that.
bad calls, bad pit stops, just a lot of things like that. That's really too many to mention.
That
Actually,
wasn't embarrassing though. That was being competitive.
well, yeah, that was
We all
taking a
wanted to do it.
chance.
I mean, you didn't do it by not.
You was a hero or a zero,
Yeah.
and more often than not, seemed like I was a
Coming on
zero.
from
And of course, on Tuesday morning, Jack would be there telling you why'd you pit because 2 laps later the caution come out. What are you thinking?
Yeah, right.
I ain't
Going short pit, and they get you every time.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure enough.
What's the maddest you've ever been to the racetrack or shot?
Good gosh.
The maddest? I can tell you, we was just talking about it
I seen
because
him mad.
we had
I made him mad one day. He don't remember it.
me.
It's right after
Oh.
Talladega. Mark turned Rusty and he flipped down through the. We were at Dover the next week and something happened. I don't know. And he come walking up. He mouthed off something as he got. I'll never forget. I was leaning on the pit box like that. I seen Buddy coming and I'm like, he said something to Steve or something. I said, how about Talladega? And I thought his head was gonna blow off. He walked off and I was on the way up here. I was like, I'm gonna tell him I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I don't even remember what I said. I was like, how about Talladega? And I thought his head was gonna blow off. And I thought,
You talking about Buddy?
Buddy. Yeah.
Okay.
I seen him coming.
Yeah, Jack tells a story. He said, "Yep." I mean, he told this on his little deal they had over there for him after the Hall of Fame. That he said, "Buddy's the only person that called me an SB, and I gave him a job."
Okay.
And that was the day that Mark spun us. Got Rusty at in Dover, and
Yeah.
put us in the wall.
Maybe that was the day. I
That
remember.
was one of the reasons we lost. Well, there was reasons why we lost the championship, but Jack's going like this, and I'm going.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember?
Yeah, that's the day I think I said that.
I thought
I'm like, man, I shouldn't have said that.
I was hot, but
We just-
that's the way we did. We stood our ground.
Yeah.
Now you'd be
Man.
in trouble.
There was an instance at Martinsville. You didn't ask me to elaborate on this, but since you brought that up, Larry McReynolds. Well, McReynolds was notorious for having his rear tire guy lay a tire out so you couldn't get out of your pits. Well, we had a hell of a pit crew back in with Rusty.
Yeah.
And I knew we was going to beat them out, that 28 car. And so anyway, first pit stop, sure enough, they leave the tire laying out there. So I said, and so I walk up, I said, Reynolds, please pick your tire up.
Bristol.
He like this, give me that look,
I
yeah,
lost my damn mind.
and like that. And so next pit stop, there it is, laying there again. So I go. I was back in those days. I wasn't changing tires, but I cleaned the front end off, and I had a brush, and everybody swore that I took that brush and threw it at them a lot of times, you know, and distract the rear tire guy, but I never did that, I promise. Anyway, so the tire's laying there, and I go out there and I get the tire. And old McReynolds, he's standing over there like this. Well, I take this tire and I go, boom, on the ground. That damn thing goes up in the air and hits McReynolds right in the chest. And I'll tell everybody, it took him all the way to the hot dog stand. Took him plumb out of the pits. So, but we did, you know,
Tell them about when you got mad in Darlington.
well, what, with Todd? What's
Let me
that?
tell that story.
No, I better not tell it. Judy
Judy will be all right. We was in
still mad at
Darlington,
me.
and we was racing hard, and Todd was with Dale Jarrett, and we beat him out of the pits, and we get down there, and Dale would just pull out in front of him. And we were
It must be
running.
the last name, first name Dale. That happened a lot.
Yeah. But anyway,
Jared.
so I guess Burton pinned him in, hit him, did something. I don't know what, but Todd was mad. So Todd comes up to the pits, and the first one he gets to is me. And he's screaming at me about whatever we're doing. And I'm like, I didn't even know what was going on. I'm wrapping my hose or whatever. And no sooner than I figured out what was going on, Buddy grabs me, yanks me back away from Todd, and goes up there and then bam! Knocks the hell out of Todd right there on pit road.
He'd get away with it.
Radiator,
He'd get away with it.
come
Yeah.
off, everything. I was like, oh my God.
So Thanksgiving coming up.
Oh, yeah.
It was on TV.
Yeah, it was on TV.
And boy, I tell you what, Judy Judy just didn't like that at all.
Oh, yeah, that was big.
So the next race, we picked pits and we're side by side. Todd comes out of the hauler into the pits, and he's got his headset, gray tape. Yeah.
Fair enough. But I thought Todd wanted to fight me. I didn't know what was going on, and next thing I know, I get yanked back, and here comes Buddy, and whop!
I thought Rambo was going to hit him, and I didn't want Rambo to hit him because he's my son. If anybody's going to hit him, I'm going to hit him.
And that's what happened.
You get away with it. Earnhardt was doing that at Bristol. That's, you know, he champion, you get to pick. He always got the first. And we was leading with Mark every time we come in. Earnhardt block us in every time. And I
On purpose. I
on
mean,
purpose.
he
do it
knew
on
what he was
purpose,
doing.
right? And I was carrying
Sure.
tires.
But
for
it
him.
was part of the game, but he would do it.
Chris was changing. I carried front tire, and I went over there and I said, "Look, he does that again. I'm gonna throw the spare jack through the windshield. You got me?" And when I get real mad, I like black out, right? So a couple more pit stops. He did it again. The next thing I know, I'm sitting on top of the pit box, and Jack's going, looking at me. And he goes, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, what happened?" He goes, "Jesus." He said, "There's people on 4 pits either way got out of the way." He goes, "You done threatened to burn them up over there with a gas can and chocolate mire and chocolate and all there." Like, dude, I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He says, "I ain't gonna pull them off of you." I said, "I didn't ask for no help, did I?" He went, "No." I said, "Did I really?" "Oh yeah."
Oh, chocolate. Yeah, we won the race at
Daytona
Daytona,
with Derek
and
Cope.
so
With Derek Cope when he was running second.
I thought Dale. I mean, I thought Cope had gotten into Earnhardt and
Because the
spun him,
crowd cheers on.
and so the crowd is going
Yeah.
crazy, and but so I just told all the guys. I said, now that 3 bunch they're going to be coming, and I said when they get up here. I said, when they get up here, just give me chocolate. I said, he's the biggest and the ugliest, and I want him. I told Chocolate that. He said, yes, I was ugly. But I tell you what, we had some great times and some really characters. But all in all, they were just genuine good people.
You'd
And
race.
just like him, Inman. You know, Inman not broke, but he twisted more hands and arms in the garage area. And Dale was strong, man.
He'd shake your
Man,
hand, and then
but
he'd take
that's
his
one
thumb
thing
and
you-
put it in your elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one thing he never did. He never grabbed me. But one time I was we were in Darlington, and that's when I was working for Goodyear. And so we always would take the balancer out if especially the Petties, they wanted their tires rebalanced after they've run them, and they wanted to they have them in the pits.
This is a bubble balancer, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I did that in Milwaukee
man,
about 3 weeks ago.
I'm up here bubble balancing those tires and all that. Well, Inman told this guy that he said, "Go over and grab that. Go over and grab that guy. Go over and grab him right quick. Grab him around the back." Yeah. And so I forget who he was. I hope it wasn't you.
It wasn't me.
But this guy came and grabbed me, and when he did, I just ducked down and grabbed a hold of him and threw him. I threw him plumb out of the pits, and Dale was up there just laughing like hell, because he knew what I was going to do. So, like I said, man, it was so tough back then. We had to smile and laugh, and when I say tough,
Tough.
hard work.
Just hard.
Yeah.
Hard
I
work.
started at Rouse January 2nd, went to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. There were 2 trailers sitting in that shop,
Oh, God.
empty.
Yeah.
When I say empty, I don't mean like not having race cars.
We built trailers and race cars that winter.
2 shifts.
There were
Golly.
no cabinets. There were no
Ramps.
nothing.
Had the
Nothing.
trickiest hydraulic gate in the world. Made
Oh,
one
yeah.
race.
Yeah.
Took us 4 hours to load the car after the Daytona.
that's
Steve
how
showed
I-
we get home and cutting it off with a torch, and that's what happened.
Sure did.
That's how I started there. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at
That was
night.
crazy.
Every single day.
Yeah.
And drive 100 miles back to Cheryl's Ford.
We didn't choose
Yeah.
where you live, but we did choose where you work.
Right. That's right.
And I mean, we worked, and then we went second shift. Walking down the side of that trailer, and I'm hearing bam, 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 boom, bam, 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 boom. And I look, and they're driving the rivets in, and they're coming out the side of the trailer. And I was like, oh my God. Brother, hey, stop, they're coming out the side of the trailer. But we built them trailers and built the race cars and went to Daytona and raced and pitted the car and worked
Yeah.
on the car. And
35 people, 2 cup teams, did everything. It had a Bush team, did everything, but
y'all did
it was
tremendous
crazy.
job.
And everybody did. I mean, that's just the way it was then. Everybody.
It wasn't no different than anybody else.
yeah, that was
We
definitely.
took 5 people to the racetrack. That was it.
Yep.
I got to hear Jerry's maddest point because I saw him mad more than once.
I don't know. I don't know. I was mad that day at Bristol. I don't know. There's a couple times I've been really mad. Black.
Well, pick one.
I don't know. That deal when I was on top of the pit box, and I was mad that day. I got let go at Rouse's, and then when exactly a year to the day, they called me back. I went and I sat down in the chair, and I was going back because I was driving too far to juniors, and I didn't want to. It was just too far. And so Jack goes, "Do you regret anything?" I said, "Yeah, I sure do." I sat down in the same seat. I said, "This seat's still hot." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Listen, I fired you for all the wrong reasons." I went, "Yeah, no kidding, man." I said, "I just bought my first house 2 weeks before that, and I talked to you about it. Everything was good, and you did that. On top of that, I was locked out when I got fired out. I was bent out of shape about it." I said, "There wasn't nobody in the garage. I'd have fought everybody for that. I mean, that's all I was racing. I was a racer." He come back from the meeting, goes, "They're going to let you go." I said, "Yeah, okay." We just worked till 3 in the morning getting ready to go to Watkins Glen, and it was wrong. So I went back just because it was 15 minutes from the house instead of 92 miles. That's logic. He goes, "Well, I want to apologize. I did it for all the wrong reasons." He says, "You regret anything?" I said, "Yeah, I sure do." He goes, "What?" Steve Mills sitting there. I said, "I should have beat your head down between your shoulders." And Jack goes, "Fair enough." But I mean, I used to call him the wizard of internal combustion. He tried so hard, but sometimes he just left it alone and it'd been okay.
Jack liked to tinker.
I mean, like we blew up at Charlotte. I still got this spark plug in my toolbox right now. Valley Trace, that was like motor number 7. That's when they qualified for the Winston. Run a lap, pit stop. All you gotta do is come back. And Quickie was on the pole and we had him beat. All you gotta do is come back. We was on motor 5 or 6 that day, turning him to death. Down the back straightaway, boom, blows up. Goes all the way through the corner, sliding sideways, comes right down pit road, and he got out and left. Jack goes, "Take them plugs out." And he said, "If you can't get them out, I'll get them out at the shop." So I got the one out on the side I was doing. It was broke off and all gnarled up on the end. It was hot. I had a rag and a glove on. He says, "Let me see it." And I'm holding it. I said, "Look at it." He goes, "Let me have it." I said, "It's hot." let me look, just look at it. He goes, let me have it. I said, look, Jack, it's hot, okay? He goes, had his hand up. He goes, let me have it. I said, okay. And I just dropped it in his hand. He threw it on the ground. He went, God damn, that's hot. I said, here you go.
But that was Jack. Jack's the smartest man I ever been around.
I mean,
but he had no common sense
Dude.
at all. Bless your heart, Jack.
Yeah.
I loved him though.
We broke a motor at Darlington one time with Jack.
Cool.
And Jerry was on the right-hand side taking the headers loose because headers didn't come out on Jack's motors. They stayed in the car.
Yeah.
Taking the headers loose, and we could see each other through the block.
Yep.
There was a big enough hole, and all Jack was saying, get those spark plugs
We got to
out.
look at them plugs. I said,
Got to look at
them
those plugs. I got to get those plugs out. And it's like, it's blowed up, Jack. He said, I got to see those plugs. And I mean, he almost threatened to fire us right there because we wasn't stopping to take the plugs out. We was taking the engine out because it had a hole through it that you could throw
I
a
was scared
basketball
it was going to
through.
fall apart. See through the other side.
Spark
That
We
was
plugs.
went to
Jack.
test Talladega and we had them high compression motors, and we were coming home at 1 o'clock. We done blew them all up.
Boy,
I mean, it's burning the pistons.
What is it, 18-1, y'all? 18?
Oh yeah,
21?
big compression and him trying to
And then
turn
they had
him trying to turn 10,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't scared. I'll tell you what. He
Was y'all in the truck when we went to Talladega? And when Jack got there, the roof was cut off our car.
Yeah, I helped cut it off, and I wasn't even working for y'all. Steve goes, "Can you help me?"
what
I
did you
guess.
say? Why did you bring that up?
Why'd I bring that up? That was one of Buddy's better
I
ideas.
can know.
And that was 100% you.
No.
Yes,
Well,
100%.
Okay.
I'm going to get Bob
Like-
Newling to hang
We're gonna-
on.
we're gonna-
He's
Oh,
the
my
greatest
God.
thing since
Oh, yeah.
sliced
We
bread.
are- we-
Greatest thing since sliced bread.
We-
Bob Newling's going to do that.
We are gonna.
In
Get
all
that
my
squared
time
away.
in the garage, I've done a lot of stuff and did a lot. Got caught with a lot of stuff. But I can honestly say that I was the guy who was there when we got our roof cut off
I was
of the
help-
race
I
car.
had to help do it.
The whole roof.
I wasn't even working. Steve goes, "Can you help me?" Yeah.
Here, and y'all
Yeah.
can tell the whole story, but the coolest part about that story was when you guys come over and start taking the windows out because they said we got to have the roof because the roof flaps are a little skewed.
They were
There's a lot of other things
wrong
skewed.
spot.
But they started taking the windows out, and Buster said no, and Buster took
Gary
the Sharpie
Nelson.
out,
Yeah.
and he made a Sharpie mark right in the middle of the windows,
Damn
through the
sure
quarter
did.
windows, through the B post, through the
the window net.
windshield,
Oh, yeah.
through the window net, everything, and so
Yep.
cut it right there. So
Yeah.
they basically had to ruin their car and cut they cut right through the middle of the Lexan.
Well, they would cut the.
And-
Steve would come up with the idea of going to lower the right rail on that car.
Yeah.
lower-
That backup car
Yeah.
was still a pretty good car.
Yeah. We go there, and I said, "They gonna make us cut that?" No, they ain't. I got there on 4th of July, and I there by the fence, and the side propped out, and he sticks his head in the right front. And says, "We having fun?" I just took the dog runner and ground stuff all over him.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you. Let me add a little something right here. What's going on in racing right now? They're taking away all the things that we're sitting here talking about. We had our ways, and we tried things, not always. They didn't work all the time, but biggest part of the time they did. We try to make a car go as fast as it can go, and we were able to adjust spoilers. We adjusted air pressures and tires. That was a given, but the bodies, the creativity that we had,
And the
like that
ingenuity's
word.
gone.
That was
It's a pretty big word.
Like
That's all
mayonnaise.
gone.
That's like mayonnaise.
that's all
Yeah.
gone. So that's all I'm gonna say. Because I'm 81 years old, and I don't think I'll ever go to another NASCAR race with a car at all. So,
It was
but
definitely
man,
creative.
everybody had their game, and the ones that were on their game.
Chris
They-
actually mentioned it the best I've heard it said in a while when we was hanging out last Saturday. He said back in the days you could line up 5 Monte Carlos
And they all look
and they're all different.
They all look
Yeah.
different.
But ain't-
They all
you
sound
you-
different.
You, had some leeway.
'Cause you made-
As
you
my
made-
son says, you're working in the gray area. He's got a picture of me. I got Bondo dust all over me. I'm like, he goes, "You're working in the gray area again." I'm like, "Mm-hmm."
Well, we used to get it called, well, that's a borderline case. Don't bring it back.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. You can run it
But
this
we got
week.
to run it. We got to run it one race.
That's good. Though. I mean,
But they
it
cut
worked
the
once.
roof. They cut the roof off of that car. I'm gonna say something
bad.
about this roof deal.
As long as you don't say it
We
wasn't
had
your fault.
qualified. We had practiced
No.
for 2 or 3 days.
Now,
and look
which
here,
car was this? That got
99.
99. And
Okay.
so look here. We go home, all the way back home. And if I ever find out who dropped us in on that car, they got their ass whooped. I'm still 81. I still got one last ass whipping
yeah,
left. Okay? If I ever find out who dropped me in or dropped that deal in, because
It was your buddy Frankie.
do what?
It was your buddy Frankie.
Who told on you?
Somebody told the car was
I
in the
wouldn't have told
garage
him. I had to
area.
help do
The
it.
car was in the garage area for a week.
Yeah.
Okay, and when we went back, that's when they cut the damn thing off.
You got rained out, didn't it?
Yeah, it rained out.
I'm here sitting at the
Yeah.
crossways right outside the garage, and Steve was inside. He goes, "You gonna help?" I said, "No, I don't work. I need some help." I was all right.
To Buddy's point, we never got caught on anything you got told on.
Right.
Whether it's
Yeah.
a disgruntled employee or something,
but like-
you know, my big deal at Daytona in '95 is I was cutting those hydraulic lines out of that car. Elmo Langley and Tim Earp was standing there, and Elmo looked at Tim and said, "We never would have found this." It's like, I know, and that told me
Yeah.
right there I was told on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dick Beatty told me one time. He said, "Let me tell you something, buddy. The best inspectors we have in the NASCAR garage is your competitor."
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why they piled us in close together. And I would. It took a long time for me to catch on because you would go in to the garage area and you couldn't even get a jack between each other's
The
cars.
thing is, I looked at if I saw somebody's car, I tried to go do it.
Yeah,
I
didn't tell
I didn't
nobody.
really throw them in unless I mean, it was like standing in the middle of the highway, like obvious, and they're letting that go. But,
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kind. I mean, you just go and made it better. I never was one to go.
But they
Let's
had
go
us
tell
packed
on
in
in.
there so close together that you couldn't help but seeing stuff. Heck, we used to, when we were back, we were scuffed tires. Usually the guy beside you,
Help roll the tires.
you would bolt your tires on for him.
Yeah.
You do your tires and your car would go out. You'd be standing there. they're
Jack your
coming
car
in.
up.
They'll come in. They'll do the left sides, and if you're on the right side of them, you just turn your jack around, put it under there, and jack it up, and their tire guy would roll the tires, and you'd bolt them on, and their guy'd come around, torque them, and they'd go out. We did that all the time. And when you do that, I mean, there's caliper, there's rotor, there's A-frames, there's
Springs, everything.
Well, and then
Spring, but,
you'd put the part on there that was the distraction.
Right.
Have everybody look at this that don't really mean anything,
Right.
so they're not looking at what you're really doing.
Maurice Petty, I saw him slam the hood on a cat's head one time. He had a concussion for about 2 weeks.
I don't doubt that.
And but we guarded our stuff. Harry, some guy came in, wanted to ask about what was on the car, and we always said, we don't know. So the guy went to Harry, and said, "Harry, you need to get up to your car real quick." Harry said, "Why? What do I need to do?" He said, "You got a bunch of guys up there that don't know a damn thing about that car, eh?"
I seen Robin jerk the film out of a guy's camera at Roush. He was in there, he don't take no pictures, and went along, he's taking them. He grabbed it and pulled it. He said, "I told you, it was after 10.
All right. Listen, I could sit here and listen to you guys tell stories all night, but I do have one last question.
Get on those or something. He never did the embarrassing, did he?
Do what?
Dun.
He didn't say nothing embarrassing or about being mad.
Mad, people know me. I never get mad.
He gets even.
I get ahead.
Back to the blackout thing, like Jerry talked about it. The Rockingham Fall Race, 1995, which is probably my most memorable day. Yeah, I was mad. We're leading.
won?
We're leading the race. Ward Burton. We're driving away. We're going to win. Al Bassanite, Winston Cup official, says that the 3 car didn't get but 4 lug nuts on the right rear on the final green flag stop. So NASCAR throws a caution to check to see how many lug nuts he's got on there. Well,
I'd have been out of here.
we always thought at that time the 3 car was a company car. Yeah. Kind of like the 6 was in the Busch Series.
Yeah.
60,
And that's for you, Marty and Andy.
yeah.
But you had
Blocks
company
in the
cars,
heads.
and it's like never in the history of time had I seen NASCAR throw a caution to correct a mistake or to even check a mistake.
Right.
And so that gave us the opportunity to lose that race that
Yeah.
we was getting ready to win, which
Yeah.
was going to be my first Winston Cup win. So anyway, long story short, they said we're just going to drive the 3 car down pit road, and I wasn't overly mad then. We're going to bring him down pit road, look at the right rear, see how many lug nuts he's got on. Nobody can pit. Pits are closed. He can't get tires. Well, what does he do? He comes down, man, they're putting on 4. You know, just typical thing. It's like, you ain't going to tell us we ain't going to get 4. We're already having to go to the back. Well, yeah, I blacked out. But I think,
Good teacher.
I think, what do we call him? Mad Max. Steve Mill was probably madder than I
He
was
was.
for
He's
some
off the
reason.
ground.
He jumped off. We couldn't get
I
to the
got a picture of
officials.
that.
Yeah, we couldn't get to the officials hard enough. But anyway, long story short, they gave everybody the chance to come down and put 4 tires on and retain your position. And fortunately, we drove off 10 laps to go and won the race anyway. But
It looked bad for a second.
yeah, there for a minute they was going to make me lose that race, and that was bad. So I was pretty hot that day.
Anybody that I've talked to, it's funny that I asked them about the races that they've won, and they talk about the races that they won, but the races that got away are the ones that tend to stick with them.
Yeah.
That was my maddest moment was Boris said at Mexico down there with James Finch's car. We put Boris in the car and we was running as good as you could possibly run, and I knew that we could have won this race. Well, we did the fuel mileage, and I come down pit road, and we had them. Nobody come. I come down pit road. They threw the caution, and the caution come out, and they said too early on pit road. And I lost my mind. And the reason why I lost my mind is because I'm standing up on the pit box, and this is Mexico City. I don't know, you guys probably been there, have you? You been there?
No, I
But
got
anyway,
Yeah.
it's coming downhill, and I was sitting there, and I seen him at the top. I could see him. And they said, put it out.
You know he won.
And we come down. I'm like, oh, yeah, I got him now. Because I got Boris, who was running really good. We pitted. Now everybody else is going to come and pit, and we're out front. He's going to drive away from him. Too early coming in. I lost my mind. In fact, we had Boris run the car this weekend. I don't think they make the show or whatever, but the guys at the shop pulled up the interview on YouTube. I was on TV. They pulled it up and said, this was Rambo with Boris. But, boy, I just lost my mind. I said they didn't want him to win that race.
I was
And
mad that day at
they caught him.
Martinsville when
Jack
Jack spun
wrecked
Jimmy
Sam.
out.
Yeah,
I could have got in there that day.
Yeah.
Because he was going to lose that championship. And that was his first
knew
race
it.
in the spring. If that,
Yeah, he sets precedent right
yeah,
there.
that was bad. And then I got called to the trailer at Martinsville with John Hunter. We was going to win there, and the gear broke. Nobody had tires, 20 to go, and he's passing Johnny for third. The gear broke. And we tried to turn him by the cup garage, with them tires. There's only a couple places to get off. They come on the radio and said, I want the driver and crew chief and spotter and Jason Jarrett spot, and we're walking over, and John Hunter, 2015, his eyes are about to be, we got to go to the trailer. I said, don't say nothing, I got it. And he goes, what? I said, don't say a word. I said, I got it. I said, I've been here a long time. I said, if they throw me out, so what? I said, you just get going. So we went in there, and they said, sit down. I said, I ain't sitting down. It was Chad, and Elton was fixing to take over, and he goes, why did you do that? We didn't need a caution. I said, we didn't need a gear to break either. I said, in the driver's meeting, where do you get off the racetrack at? Pull that up. You either get off on pit road or the end of that garage or off turn 2. He didn't make it. He goes, well, he was left side towards traffic. I said, put a picture up there. I said, somebody had to hit the wall, go over that pickup truck, go over the end of the cup garage to hit him. He goes, and then they asked why he didn't back up. I said, you ever try to back up with a gear broke? You can't do it. So then they was pushing me out the door, and Logano was going, right? I said, you see that Logano right there? He goes, yeah. I said, that's my trophy. And I walked out the door. We walked out, and John goes, man, there's something wrong with you. He goes, I can't believe you said all that to them. I said, they put their clothes on like I do. I mean, it's all
I had
right.
an embroidered seat in there when Todd was driving for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my goal every speed weeks is not have to go in the
Oh, I was in
trailer.
there 5 times.
Right.
I was in there a bunch when I was there. I was in there like 8 times and get on the racetrack when I did Horner Day.
I tell you,
First day, I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I wanted to bring up just you guys about the going to the racetrack, just unloading the car and racing, being at the track one day. Now I know for a fact that all of us would go to speed weeks. Chris used to say it. So my wife can throw me out now because I got everything in my suitcase.
Brought everything I had with me.
Yeah, I had everything in my
We
suitcase.
test 2 times. We test 2 times in December. We test 2 times in
January,
January.
and probably go to Talladega, right.
Then you go to Daytona for
For 14
2 weeks.
days.
One
All
year,
right. Crazy.
Yeah.
I used to keep up on my per diem for the entire year, and one year I had 31 days of per diem in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
A whole month. I was.
I always thought about it. We should have kept all them hotel keys. We'd have.
Yeah.
But but we do that, and these guys go to the racetrack where they, the trucks will come in one day, race, leave. You know, and some of the tracks you can drive to in the morning, race, drive home. It's like 9 to 5
drive. In
drive.
the van one time, it's pouring rain. He's in there with me, and I'm driving. And we got to get through Jacksonville by 5. The traffic's going to be bad. It's raining so bad you couldn't see it. I was running. I said, okay. I had that thing on the map. It started hydroplaning going all the road. They were standing in the aisle. Let me drive. I was, no, we got to be there to Jacksonville.
Was that when Troy Martin come out and had that thing on his head?
Yeah.
Had that,
Oh, you put that.
and I didn't even recognize him.
He shaved everything and put toupee on his head.
Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
looked like he had a
Yeah.
spider on his head.
Yeah. What is that? We had a lot of good times because you spend a lot of hours in them vans.
Troxler didn't know who he was.
Yeah. I should have called Troxler.
Yeah, those were the
Which
those
one?
were the times, especially driving all the way to California, stopping at truck stops and harassing the waitresses and all that. You know?
Flew in
But
March.
see, they had it.
Oh, yeah.
They had it in his era. They had it really bad. I mean, they drove everywhere in the trucks, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We was in the era where we had the vans, and then the vans painted up. Remember when they used to paint the vans up? Not everybody did it, but a lot of people
And we
did.
had the white ones,
Yeah.
prison
And then
vans.
the prison vans,
Yeah.
and then the small airplanes.
And we flew in Mark's King Air that first time. It was me, Steve Allen, you was in there.
Yeah.
We took off. Mark's and he's like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for this plane. You know, he just got it. You know, I'm like, really? You know, and he's flying along. We're flying along, and Steve Allen goes, look. We looked out the window, and there's fuel pouring out of the wing. And Ron Brown was the pilot. He goes, Ron, what about that? He goes, oh, it'll quit in a minute. I said, I guess so. And this is Mark goes, well, who's going to pay for that? I said, we are when it hits the ground.
Ron Brown, he was a pilot. He was the pilot that would get you in trouble, but he was the pilot that could get you out.
Oh, my God.
He was the best pilot I ever flew with.
The last trip Ron Brown took was flying into Talladega, and he
I flew in with Jack.
Yeah, and he landed, pulled in there. Man, I've tried twice, and then it had to go to Birmingham or somewhere over there. When he landed, I think Jack met him over there, and they pulled tree limbs out
Yeah,
of the.
that's the
out of
second
the
time.
gear.
He did it at Dover, too.
He did
Yeah.
it. He landed at Talladega.
No, he went over. They went over.
No, he got
back
in the
to
trees and
Texas.
landed because we went to Birmingham with
One
Jack.
time, yeah. I wasn't on there, but I heard the story. We went to Bristol for a shock test that time, and we couldn't find an airport in the mountains up there, and we all know Bristol's history. Yeah. And boy, as soon as we hit the runway, Steve Mills was sitting in the co-pilot seat, and Ron hit Steve and said, "We made it!"
Yeah.
Like there was a question.
You know, we could sit here and talk about
Airplanes.
and things. You know, we had a really big problem with Hendricks plane and all, but man, I had my experience with DK Aldridge. You know, we had an engine go out, and
DK come to me with a tailpipe
yeah,
and said, "You got a TIG welder on there. Can
Yeah.
you weld this
Yeah.
up?" It was
Yeah.
for his airplane.
yeah,
He had the exhaust pipe for his airplane.
had the turbo exhaust part came off, and we had shut down the motor. But I'm gonna tell you what, it was the smoothest landing I think he ever made with one engine.
Yeah.
He went right into Greensboro and just greased it.
Yeah.
You know,
Was any of you on the plane that left Liberty and the door come open? You remember that one?
No,
don't know.
me
I
and
wasn't on it.
me and Jerry was on Julian Martin's airplane today. It lost pressurization.
We flying to Nazareth. Something we just fell asleep. You know, in there going there because help the 60. You know, where we got to go.
They're like Payne Stewart fell asleep.
That's what did it. So we hear something go. I mean, it's like a bomb went
Yeah,
off in
it's
there.
loud.
And when I opened your eyes, you couldn't see the guy in front of you because the whole inside of the plane was fog. But it was the hot air, hot air in there and the cold air rushing. And this is Julian. God bless his soul. He looks around. He goes, "Man, we're making good time at this altitude." He says, "Y'all just keep looking at the back of your fingernails. If they start turning purple, I'll go down." Is that not hey, it wasn't 2 minutes, and everybody on there was about to throw up in the trash bag because the air's sick, right? We land. I'm like, we got to get that fixed. I feel like somebody stuck ice picks in you. Like
He said it happened before, and he'd worked on it, but he didn't get it fixed.
no.
we came out of Richmond after the race, and I was working with Huggins, and Ross is the only one really. Ross is one of the ones that had an airplane, and so Richard got on there with us. And we're flying home, and I thought about this because I wanted to tell y'all that that I had the honor of having Richard puke all down my arm, but he was going to get sick. It was after the race, and I mean, things like this, all the way. Richard's sitting over there, and I'm looking at him. He's turning green, and I found I got the bag out, and so I said, "I'm gonna open this bag for you." About the time I put it over all down my arm, and it made me sick. So, but I know I wanted to remind Richard of that. But
we used to race back to the airport not to fly with Jack.
Oh yeah.
We wrecked the car. I'd run all in the back, got on the dirt road. We got there. Steve goes, "Just point the other way and hurry." And I was running across there, and we got in the other plane. One time I didn't make it, and we was in Jackson. He had his what is that notebook with all the squares on it. And he's up there with his pen flying, and Xantop's up there with him, and he drops his pen, and this is no lie. He took the yoke and went. And when that thing landed, I was like, "I'm gonna kiss the ground. I'll walk, I'll ride. I ain't doing that no more."
Hey, well, I promise you now, I got in the plane in the P-51 with Jack.
You're crazy. Remember we went up there for that Christmas party? I ain't getting in there.
I got in that thing in Concord from Charlotte. We went over there and got in that plane, and I said, "When we get out of this plane, I don't want you to say you left anything on the table."
Oh my.
And I'm gonna tell you, we went sideways, we went up, we went down, we twisted, we turned. I mean, we did it all. And he said, "What do you think?" I said, "Is that all you got?"
We got there in Michigan, and he said, "There's the T6 where they trained him in. He had one of them in a million pieces, and the P-51's done." He goes, "I got that to learn how to do it. Y'all want to fly this?" I'm like, "No, I'm good."
First thing he did was hand me a parachute.
Yeah.
He said, "Now you're going to have to go out the right side because if something happens, this thing turns to the left." I said, "Ain't no way, Jack." I said, "We're riding this thing down, and we will be on every quarter panel
He's
in
gonna
every
make
race
it.
car."
He'll make it.
I didn't realize then. This was before the 9 lives.
Yeah.
I said, "We'll be on every quarter, but they'll have golf tournaments, Jack Roush, Tony Liberati Memorial golf tournaments, and everything." I said, "I'm riding this thing down, buddy. Let's go."
Christmas party, and the plane went. Burton was in there. It was Burton, you, and me. Remember how cold it was? The plane wouldn't start. We got ready to leave. He goes, "We need one of them." I forgot who's. It might have been Ron. But we need one of them booster things. Remember, I went over to Coletta's place and hot wired the damn thing and drove it over there and plugged it up, started it, and I just left it there. And then Jack goes, "Did y'all do?" I don't know what you're talking about. But they only give you 3 drink tickets at the Christmas party. Remember, and I got in the building and was handing out the rolls
yeah.
to all the employees up north. I was like, here.
Is that the year we gave him the that I was there? I mean, we were there, and I gave him we gave him the Jeep, the Army Jeep. Okay. Well, I flew back with Jack. I flew back with Jack from Daytona one time, and I looked over there. We'd been working all day testing and everything. I look over at him. He's flying. I look here. I hit him like that, and he, what's wrong? I said, "You're asleep." He said, "Oh, I got it on autopilot." I said, "Well, listen, Jack. While I'm in here, please keep your damn eyes open."
And Jack will be like, he'll be flying along, shit will be happening. He'll be like, "Anybody got a paper clip?
Yeah.
A screwdriver?"
Daytona, we had a firing order change, and we changed out. Remember, Earnhardt goes, "Man, you get that thing, quit skipping. Y'all gonna be fast." And we already had all the motors in the truck, and we're in there. Because I showed Steve, I said, "Look, he got I watched Steve Allen put the timeline on the other side. I went, that's a 4. What's he doing?" It's on the other side, so we had to change the cams, all the cams. I'm sitting in there, I ain't no motor guy. I'm working on one, taking the cam out, and Jack goes, "Not everybody can do this. Not everybody gets to do this." I'm like, "Really?" I'm taking it apart. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and he said that about them intakes when we was doing all that. He said not everybody gets to do this.
Not everybody gets to do this, and dead people don't ever get to do it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And I took it that I shouldn't be watching.
Shouldn't be getting killed. Like when the washer went in the motor.
Big watcher.
A big watcher.
can't remember that guy's name. We had 6 cars down there and 1 intake. We'd go out, run, take it off, put on this. The carburetor stud had a washer on it. And I said, you need to weld that. It's going to fall in, like stick to the airplane. No, they changed. Got about the 3rd, 4th car. Mark, he cranked it up. It's making. I looked at Chris and said, that thing's making noise anyway. And it turned. You put a ratchet on it, turned the other way, and it stopped. And he took the air cleaner off. He goes, "Where's that washer at, Jerry?" I went, "Hell, I don't know. You put them out. I don't know. I ain't a motor guy." And he goes, "We got a washer in the motor." He brought a guy from up north with him. Worked in a parts department. So
Yeah, I remember
he
his
took it apart
face.
in it. We yanked it out, put it in the truck. He comes out there. At Daytona, he comes out there with the head, and I found the washer, and half of it stuck in. He was Jack about exploded.
Jack was
A big
embarrassed.
washer.
He was embarrassed
He goes, "This is a big washer." I'm like,
because it was his guy.
Yeah. Man, that was good times. Man, I mean,
we
just
learned a
that
lot. We learned a lot.
changing motors just to run cams in
All right.
Daytona.
Let's
Yeah,
quit
that's-
crucifying Jack.
We learned a lot. I learned a lot.
Oh, yeah.
from him.
No, I didn't.
I've never seen anybody working with a carburetor. I didn't know they come in that many pieces.
Robert
Kind
Yates.
of like what Buddy said a while ago when people asked me, said, boy, Jack, I bet that was hard. I said, nope. Jack's probably one of the best guys I ever worked for because he was a mechanic
Right.
and he respected his mechanics.
You know.
You got to remember, most of these guys we work for are former drivers, so
Right.
they always sided with the driver.
Yeah.
But Jack was a mechanic and he sided with mechanics. Jerry will remember our first test at Daytona. We didn't have any Valvoline clothes. We didn't have Ford clothes.
yes,
He
yeah.
come from a Pontiac. I come from the Lebanese.
About
It was
12
cold.
degrees.
It was cold. I had on my Penrose firecracker jacket because that's all I had. Jerry had on a Pontiac coat. That was bad. They found him a replacement
I
really
said,
quick.
"Wait, where's your coat?" I said, "I didn't get one. Guy had to come down here
But
next day."
moral of the story, I was tire boy and I was down on the left front and I was checking air pressure on the left front and Jack and them, they was changing intakes and carburetors and all that stuff. And he didn't know my name. He didn't have a clue who I was. And, it's like, I'm down there in the Bush Series and other garage. None of these guys pay attention. They don't know who you are and all that. And I'm down there and I'm checking the air and I see him coming and I jump up and I get out of the way. And he said, "Nope, go ahead and finish your job." He said, "Your job is just as important as mine."
Yeah.
And I knew right then that now he would do some questionable things, but at the end of the day, that was his golf game and it was his. And I tell people, if Jack would have said this car run faster upside down, I'd have went and got the forklift and flipped it
up.
over because it was
working on
his.
headers one Sunday, right? Equal length speedway headers. Houdini couldn't put them on, right? I could put them on. It's like this tube, that tube, and I didn't even know he was there. There was like 3 of us. And I jumped out from under there and I'm like, Binky, the guy up north, we had 2
Yeah.
complete cars. And I
Binky.
did like you build them for this table. I said, Houdini couldn't put these on. And Jack, somebody tapped me on the shoulder and I went, "Hey." And he went, "You mind if I try?" I didn't even know he was there. He put his hat on the front. He goes, "You got a Sharpie?" He's in there marking. "You got a hammer?" I went, "Yeah." I come over, he said, "No, I need a hammer." So I got him a little short sleeve. He says, "Come with me." We go in the fab shop. He laid them on the service plate and beat them flat. Brand new stain. He
beat
goes,
'em.
"You have another set by Monday afternoon." And we did. And they fit. He goes, "Binky must have been off that day." I said, "Yeah, it must have been."
That's the way you were.
But I mean, he was
was
I would
a mechanic.
take him data. I'd run all that O2 stuff, and he'd want to see that, and then I had to put it all on a file and take it to him in the evening, and I'd go knock on the door, and here he'd come in his pajamas.
had on.
Yeah.
Didn't have his hat on. He had his pajamas, and I'd hand him that stuff,
Yeah.
and then I'd walk off, and I was like, that guy. I mean, he lives it.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah.
night and day.
and
At Daytona and the restrictor plate races, high compression, we burn a lot of pistons. He would take the jets out of the carburetor every single night and put them in his pocket and carry them back to the
That's
motel.
a fact.
And I asked him, so the jet sizes were 82s, 83s, 77s, 78s. Of course, his was never squared up because he ground on the intake. But I said, "Well, you got a whole bag of them right there." And he said, "Nope." He said, "I'm tuning the motor to these 4, and I'm watching these 4." And he would put them in his pocket every night, take them back to the motel.
wow, smart man.
He would
Smart man.
learn a lot from him and Steve about organization and stuff like that. How to do the right thing. And it wasn't always pretty, but sometimes it was.
It worked out.
That was good times. Can we remember some of them guys from up there?
Who?
Up there at Roush?
I remember them all.
You
How
remember
about when
them
we cut the fenders off that day going to Dover? And he left. Steve did. He knew where my stuff
Bristol,
was.
we cut the side off, didn't he?
We cut both fenders that one time. The front tires
Oh.
on the lift gate. And I said,
Talking about at the shop.
He at the shop. I
Oh,
was
my
like,
gosh.
Steve.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we fixing. I had to be here the next day. He's like, "Y'all didn't do that right." And I said, "Yeah, you gonna go home, right?" and we got to stay there and fix it. Troy Martin about to pop, so we fixed it. So I lived about 3 miles from him, across the railroad tracks. I was going home. I cut through by his house. I was like, about 2:30 in the morning. I was like, okay. I just cut across his yard, spun around all out. He said, I saw you, but I wasn't coming out. I said, good thing. Good thing.
We had Troy Martin was back there and
Johnny Talley.
Johnny Talley,
Yeah.
Dwayne
Those are a lot of
Wood.
good people.
Dwayne Wood. Oof.
Dwayne Wood, Ricky Thomas was there,
Mitch Williams.
Mitch.
We had good, I mean, you think about all the people you work with and who, I mean, look at him, you know?
Yeah.
People he surrounded himself with and how they go out this way like a tree,
Yep.
you know?
How about
We were lucky.
James Ince? You remember James? Remember
Yeah.
when he?
2 cents.
I
Remember when you got the?
What is it,
he got
two
the
what?
break. Listen,
2 tenths.
Yeah.
2 tenths.
2 tenths.
He just walk up. It was 2 tenths.
Yeah.
I can go right out there in my toolbox right now, and I got a little thing.
I remember him
remember.
trying to check an epoxy plate with a level, and Steve goes, look at him. I said, yeah, what about it?
That's
He goes,
Chris.
He asked me, he said, yeah, James, he goes, what, you ever seen a pond that wasn't level?
I remember the day
That's Chris
asked,
about the brake fluid.
the day I asked him, was that after Zippo quit?
Oh.
That was after you,
Yeah, I know.
because Zippo quit after you. So
I didn't quit.
James, bless your heart, James, I love you. James is doing the rear end housings. It comes time to bleed the brakes, with gravity bleed them, single master cylinder, gravity bleed them. They'd get pretty good. Then you put somebody inside, and rear pucks wasn't pushed out. He didn't blow out the rear pucks when he built the rear calipers. So I'm going to make him fix them. I go over there and get him. I said, James, go over there and blow them rear pucks out. Now, I don't know how you would ever dream of doing it, but the whole system's full of brake fluid now. He opened the bleeder
No.
and shot air in the bleeder,
Oh yeah.
and brake fluid come out of the top of the master cylinder reservoir and went as high as the ceiling and rained down over that whole complete painted race car, and Noel Falk lost his
I
mind.
guarantee that.
And
Lord.
Yeah.
that's one of my mad times. I called him things I don't normally call people. I told him he was the stupidest, and I know he'd remember it too because he felt pretty
Oh,
stupid.
I remember.
I lost it that day.
That was bad. That was bad. Noel got pretty mad when they painted the building down. Remember, they painted all of our cars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we all got
Everybody's.
Painted everybody's car. They
parking lot.
painted the building behind, and in our parking lot, our cars got painted.
Yeah,
and Noel come out because he's body man. He's like, "What is this?" And then everybody got to looking. We
I
had
mean, a
red
lot of
paint
people's
on.
cars need painted.
Yeah, I was gonna say mine wasn't worth painting. So
That was on my S10. That was my damn Cherry one owner S10,
yeah.
buddy.
Anyway,
Well, guys,
I like it.
this
Be
is
quiet, Rick. We talking.
Sit down, table.
you can say cut.
this has been.
Then we can
yeah,
tell the good stories.
This has been awesome. I truly appreciate you being here. Appreciate your friendship over the years. I really mean that. So, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.